Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to speak about Gilbert Verdian and what he has to say about Quant and how it ties into the new financial system. This is not financial advice, this is for educational purposes only. All I'm attempting to do is give you information to help you make better decisions regarding what's going to happen in the upcoming changes as we move forward to a digital world. So Quant, as of October 24th, the price of Quant was $63.78. Gilbert Verdian mentioned that Quant would be the foundation of building on blockchain. So based on what I'm going to show you is a reason why I think it's a good idea to hold on to some Quant. But that's just my decision. I'm not telling anyone that that's what they need to do. So back in June, back in Lisbon, Portugal, there was an event called EBAday 2024. After a buzzy morning of introductions and a keynote to set up the themes for the rest of the conference, David Birch presented a challenge speech titled Digital Money, Digital Assets, and Digital Identity, the Future of Banking. Before I go forward, who is David Birch? He is a financial contributor with Forbes. So he has a lot of credibility. In that article, he talks about the beauty of the challenge speech is that it is a challenge for the speaker to convince the audience and for the audience to trust his opinion. Now, the thing I have highlight here is tokenization, which will be driven by money people, not technology people. And will be vastly cheaper and it will drive more liquidity into that space. He also mentions that we have this burgeoning token, and in that token economy, we see the new financial infrastructure being built. You can see that the steps towards this were in the stage now where people are doing the initial experiments. We're looking towards interoperability, and soon as we will this new financial market infrastructure growing where ledgers are coming up. He also argued that CBDCs would provide further resilience to the European banking system, especially pointing to wholesale and machine CBDs for efficient supply chains. The other thing he mentions, which is important, he says we don't want to digitize identity. We want to make a digital identity that is dynamic. And I believe the reason he's saying that is because when you read the book of Revelations, and anyone who has a spiritual mindset, when they talk about digital identity, you're thinking about the mark of the beast. And so they want to make it clear that that is not the attempt here, because if it was, then it's going to scare a lot of people off. Now, when you go to Quant's website, one of the articles that they talk about is fund tokenization. And I've highlighted here where they talk about solving liquidity, because liquidity is the overall problem. And so I'm going to get into that. When you look, it says simplifying the redemption process. An additional benefit is that the underlying smart contracts controlling economic ownership ensure that exit liquidity on the secondary market is more orderly, transparent, and streamlined. Again, liquidity is important. So I've highlighted over to the right where it says the combination of private equity and digital assets may even outperform listed stocks. So in the modern world, most people invest in stocks, but the digital assets, which is a new asset class, most likely will outperform stocks. Also, he stressed that the liquidity depends on the tokenomics used by the fund manager and how specifics the investment is diversified. Now, the reason I have fund manager highlighted because someone that you all may know, Larry Fink of BlackRock, talks about fund managers. And in an article on their website, they indicate that they are successfully registered with Asset Management Association of China as a private fund management source. So, as I like to say, don't look at what they say, look at what they're doing. He also talks about the tokenomics used by the fund manager. And as the digital assets become more valuable over time due to macroeconomic factors and scarcity, the combination of private equity and digital assets may even outperform listed stocks. So again, he's talking about digital assets outperforming stocks. So again, this is a key word to hear why cryptos and digital assets may be something you want to hold on to. Now, I want to show you something that's very important. Just about anybody and everybody knows what Bitcoin is or has heard of Bitcoin. Now, I've highlighted that the max supply of Bitcoin is 21 million and the total supply is 19.7 million. Now, what that means is that when they have finally minted the last Bitcoin, it will only be 21 million minted. That's what makes it so scarce and why it's so highly valued. But look at Quant. Quant actually is a scarcer coin than Bitcoin. There's only 14 million in supply, in max supply and total supply. So that is something important to look for. It might not be the price that Bitcoin is, but if they're going to use Quant in their system going forward, I would think that this price is going to jump up very quickly. Now, you don't see a lot of ads on X, but Quant is really looking at the business sector. So this is an ad that was on LinkedIn where they talk about simplifying blockchain interoperability to connect multiple networks effortlessly for free. Now, why this is key is because you're not going to need coders. With new Web3, you can basically put all this on the web without having to have someone to code it for you. Now, these are just 3 screenshots I pulled from X, where Quant is talking about the event in June, and where Gilbert Verdian is saying, being interviewed by Fin Extra about the RLL, which stands for Regulated Liability Network. So you ask yourself, what is RLN? Well, look at this article where it says 11 banks say Regulated Liability Network RLN experiments for tokenized deposits were a success. And as you can see, you've got HSBC, Citibank, Santander, Visa, MasterCard. So these are all the financial banking players that are all on board with this. And when you look further into the article, I've highlighted that RLN, which explores the potential for tokenized deposits and programmability, the banks involved were Barclays, Citi, UK, HSBC, UK, Lloyds Banking Group, MasterCard, NatWest Nationwide, Santander, UK, Standard Chartered, Virgin Money, and Visa. The overall conclusion was that the RLN provides a viable innovation platform, and the next step is to engage with regulators. Again, this was at EBAday 2024. Now, if you go to the EBAday 2024 website, the themes are all about finance, the next generation of banking, cross-border payments. This is why I'm so bullish personally on XRP. But everything here is about banking and where we're going in the future regarding digital finance. Gilbert Verdian said a tweet as he was closing out the session that he has a clear message for the European Commercial Bank that time is running out. And that time frame they indicated was November of 2025. Now, this is just a screenshot of Gilbert Verdian speaking at this panel. And if you look in the background top left, it says landscape of different forms of money. Now, I've highlighted that. I'm going to zoom in here. So you notice how on this chart, they're talking about e-money, they're talking about stable coins, the DLT base, which stands for digital distributed distributed ledger technology, excuse me. Now, they also indicate crypto, private crypto coins. So for the very first time, they are actually telling you that cryptocurrency will be a part of the system. So whether you believe it or not, they are telling you that it will be a part. Now, I want to share this also because from what I've heard, and now the reports are showing, they are going to use assets or resources to back this stuff up. And so Altcoin Daily happened to indicate that Tether, which is a stablecoin, will launch a stablecoin backed by gold. And I want to show you some screenshots from that. So it will be called Alloy by Tether. If you look at the screenshots, the top middle is how you can take your Tether and then convert it over with gold. You can convert it to whatever coin you need, so that everything that you're using is backed by gold. Now, I pointed out that it says connect a wallet. So for those of you who are not very familiar with wallets or how this whole system may work, wallets are how you're going to store your digital assets. So you're going to need to connect a wallet. And for those who don't really know how to do that, I'm going to be putting together some videos to help guide you in that process. So in this particular case, when you go to connect a wallet, you'll see a screen that will show the different wallets that you can use. MetaMask happens to be a very popular one. And once you've connected, you'll see disconnect, because now you're connected. And so now you can start mining. So what will happen next is you'll see a screen where you'll take your USDT Tether, which is the dollar in a digital form, and you're now converting it to gold. And it's just showing you on the right the conversion of the dollars to gold. And so this next screen just shows where you're taking the current day value of gold, which at the time of this was $2,361 an ounce. And so it's showing you how you're taking the current day's value and then converting it over to use in the next system. So this is just a simple message. I didn't go into an hour deep dive, but this should help give you an idea of where they're going in the financial realm of digital assets. So the one thing I always want you to remember regarding life is change your mindset, because the powers that shouldn't be love to keep you looking one way while they do something else. As the magic world says, they have you look at your left hand while the right hand is deceiving you. Take care. Enjoy.